You know, I told you that this week I was in a place where I was just thrashed, just like the psalmist in Psalm 73. He was just thrashed. He was struggling. He was tore up on the inside. And the psalmist, he looked around and he says, what's the deal, man? He says, I see the life of the proud, and all they do is it's just one cool moment to the next, and nothing ever seems to plague them, and it's not my life. And this week, I had a pity party for several days. Maybe you can understand it, maybe you can't. I don't know. But I know that you've had your own challenges along the route. But for me, this week, I was in this place like Jeremiah. Jeremiah got sick and tired of all the stuff that he was going through. He was faithfully teaching God's word or preaching God's word and bringing it forward and speaking things that were true, that were certain that God had called him to. He didn't have a ministry like somebody else. He didn't have he didn't have Peter's ministry. He didn't have Joshua's ministry where it was all conquest and victory and all of these things. He didn't have that. Jeremiah had the ministry that he had, and it was him speaking faithfully for God, him rightly dividing the word, and it reached a point because of the pushback, the pressure, the problems, the death by 1,000 wounds, if you will, that in Jeremiah chapter 20, he reaches this place, he says, that's it, I've had it. I'm not going to do this anymore. That was me this week, man. I was in that spot. But what else do we know about storms? Well, we know this. We know that we don't always like to read the book of Job, but we know that when we read the book of Job, that Job was a guy, he was a man, he was faithful before the Lord. And God put him up. God put Satan up to the task of trying Job. Hey, go check out my boy Job there. Go give him a whirl. Lord, please don't do that to me, okay? Job did it great. Let's just leave it right there, right? But it's just not true. Because each one of us, Satan wants to sift each one of us, and God has something special when he allows that to happen. And I will tell you that Jesus saved me 33 years ago, and minus this week, no matter all the stuff that we have faced in walking with the Lord, from cancer to death to loss to triumph, everything good, that I feel like faithfully in my heart, I've been able to say, Job 13 and 15, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. I couldn't say that this week for the first time in my walk of faith. Past couple years around this ministry, 24, 25, they were amazing years. Years that are fruitful, and now we're in this place where we've stepped forward to take more territory, to do more stuff, and to take additional steps of faith. When we read the New Testament, we find that when there's an open door of opportunity, that there's very much adversary. There's very much pushback. And for a medium-sized church, we continue to take steps of faith. We continue to go forward. God is with us. God is helping us. But when he doesn't meet our expectations in the moment, what happens? Did I choose the wrong king in following Jesus?